What is up, car addicts? In this video, I'll be talking about this week's quadruple money event week, as well as the newest additions and discounts as well. This event week is for August 25th through August 31st, 2022. So for new content this week, we have the Benny's upgrade for the Brioso 300 that turns it into the wide body variant that was added today as the 4th drip feed car, which means we have 8 drip feed vehicles left for this DLC. Also, the M16, which is called the Service Carbine, was added today. To unlock it, you have to visit certain crime scenes around the map, and I will be uploading a guide on that later today. But anyways, the current prize ride for this week is the BF Club. This car is primarily based on the Volkswagen Golf Mark I. It has a normal price of just under $1.3 million. To get this car for free, you have to place top 4 in an LS CarMate Series race for 4 days in a row. In terms of performance, this car is in the compacts class and is one of the fastest cars for racing in that class alongside the HSW Brioso, but obviously if you're on old gen, the BF Club is still the king by far in the compacts class. It also has great customization and is a ton of fun to drive as well, so I definitely think it's worth trying to get this one from the prize ride this week. In terms of the test ride vehicles for this week, we have the Bestia GTS, the RE7B, and the Hustler as well. And for next gen console players, we have the Cyclone 2 as the HSW test ride vehicle for this week. Now in terms of the casino podium vehicle, we have the Paragon R. So this car is primarily based on the 3rd generation Bentley Continental GT. It has a normal price of about $900,000. In terms of performance, this car is in top 10 for the sports class for track performance and is a ton of fun to drive as well with fantastic handling, plus it has a great exhaust note and good customization. It's just an overall really good car. In terms of the dealership cars this week, for luxury autos we have the LM87 and the Codesita as well. And for Simians we have the Jugular, the Schwarzer, the Dominator ASP, the Buffalo STX, and the Michele GT as well. So starting off with the property discounts, we have 40% off the nightclubs, as well as 40% off the upgrades and renovations for them as well, which is awesome. I highly recommend this business for passive income. Moving on to vehicle discounts, we have 40% off the Hustler. So this car is in the muscle car class and has some of the best acceleration in that class. It does unfortunately suffer in terms of handling, which is to be expected for a car like this, but regardless, it's still a ton of fun to drive and has great customization as well. Next up, we have 40% off the RE7B. This car is of course in the supercar class and used to be one of the quickest supercars in the game, but obviously a lot has changed over the years and it sadly doesn't even make it into top 10 anymore. Plus its customization isn't all that great with only a couple options. Moving along, we have 50% off the Vappuccino. Not really that interesting of a car, but it does have the Benny's lowrider variant, so I guess that's something, and you can save some money with the base price of the car there. Next up we have 50% off the Vaca. So this car isn't really all that expensive to begin with, but I guess any little bit helps. This of course is one of the OG cars from the supercar class, and as to be expected, it's one of the slower ones in that class for track performance, and the customization only has a few options. Next up we have 30% off the Jugular, one of the fastest 4-door cars in the game, and it's a ton of fun to drive with great customization as well. It's in the sports class and makes it into top 10 for track performance depending on the track, which is very impressive for a sports sedan. Moving along, we have 50% off the XLS. So this is an older SUV with no visual customization, unfortunately. I honestly don't see a reason in buying this one unless maybe you're building like a luxury or SUV garage or something like that. Next up we have 40% off the DR1, which is one of the slower open wheel cars for track performance. And lastly for this website we have 40% off the PR4, which is the second quickest open wheel car for track performance, But honestly, the BR8 is just a lot quicker, so I wouldn't really recommend buying any of these open wheel cars this week unless you're building like a race car garage or something along those lines. Moving on to the Severn San Andreas website, we have 100% off the Hot Ring Sabre this week, making it absolutely free. So this car is pretty slow in general, and other than the 30 liveries it offers, it has no other visual customization unfortunately, but I guess it's still a good one to have if you ever come across a hot ring race. In terms of clothing discounts, we have the new Sprunk and eCola bodysuits, which are free for this week. Now this is awesome that we finally got this, but for those of you who remember from last year, there were also Sprunk and eCola parachutes that were found in the game code, but we still don't have those available unfortunately. I checked, it seems Rockstar probably forgot about them. In terms of quadruple money, we have 4 times money NRP on the Lamar contact missions, which is pretty decent. Not the best way to make money, but I guess if you're a newer player, this might pay out pretty decently. In terms of triple money, we have triple money NRP on the stockpile adversary mode, which is pretty good. And lastly, we have triple money NRP for the hot ring races this week, which definitely goes well with that free hot ring we have this week. Moving on to the Prime Gaming discounts for Prime Gaming members only. So again, same as usual, the only thing we have is the usual free $125,000 for logging in during the event week period. And lastly, this week's RC Bandito time trial is Construction Site 2. This week's normal time trial is Elysian Island 2. I highly recommend a fast bike such as the Hakachu Drag, Shotaro, or Batty 801 for this time trial. In terms of the premium race for this week, we have the motorcycle race Art to Art. I highly recommend either the Shotaro or the Hakachu Drag for this race, and obviously if you're on next gen, you want to be using the HSW Hakachu Drag. And lastly, for next gen console users, the HSW time trial for this week is Pacific Bluffs. As always, the HSW Hakachu Drag will be the best one for these. In terms of my vehicle discount pick of the week, other than the free hot ring, I'm gonna have to go with the Jugular. It's only a 30% discount, but honestly, it's just a really good car that I highly recommend buying. Great customization, great exhaust note, fantastic driving experience, and customization. It's just the overall package and one of the best sedans in the entire game. Again, only a 30% discount, but I still think it's worth it. Anyways guys, hope this was helpful. Overall, I think this is a pretty decent event week with some decent vehicle discounts and bonuses. Obviously the bonus money isn't all that great, but it will get better as time goes on, especially once the drip feed cars end. Anyways guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.